Hello and happy Monday, depending on where you are in this amazing world, and thank you guys so much for tuning in to another video of DIY investing. Over the last couple weeks, I've mainly been talking about altcoins, as altcoins have been outperforming Bitcoin, and you've actually been making more money holding altcoins over the last month or so. Today, we're going to be diving in, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys an updated cyclical time frame in Bitcoin and how it actually applies to the current cycle, and why I do strongly believe that we're only a few months away from breaking new all-time highs and heading into this next parabolic cycle. This next Bitcoin cycle is going to be one that is so parabolic that it's going to blow everybody's wildest expectations out of the water. The people that are timing their investments right now are the people that are going to make the most life-changing amounts of money 2 years from now when we all look to take profits. With all of the fear in the market, surrounded by all of this uncertainty, it's important that we take a look at the macro perspective so that we all know exactly what's happening on a long-term perspective. After watching this video, I can almost guarantee you guys that you will be a long-term holder of Bitcoin, and that this video will clearly break down why we are so close to starting this imminent bull run. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Remember guys, click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates like the one provided for you in this video. Remember guys, I also offer a video course and signals. The video course is 20 educational videos that teach you guys all of the exact same strategies that I use to profit inside of cryptocurrency every day. It's a mix between both short-term trading and long-term investing strategies, so you guys are definitely going to want to check that out. Now, if you're somebody that wants to copy my own personal analysis and wants to copy the trades that I'm taking, or follow the portfolio management that I offer inside of my signals, you guys are definitely going to want to check that out. The signals are a mix between both short-term, mid-term, and long-term trading and investment strategies with some margin trading opportunities as well. So if you guys want to actually copy my portfolio, you guys want to actually copy the trades that I'm taking so you can profit alongside next to me, I highly recommend you guys check that out. All you have to do is click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Once you're in here, just feel free to shoot me a message and I will get back to you guys as soon as possible. With all that being said, guys, I wanted to quickly say thank you all so much for the support of the channel. It really is mind-blowing to just see how fast it's growing, and I feel like I constantly tell you guys that, and so it might get a little annoying of me repeating myself, but the thing about it, guys, is my channel is growing so fast. I mean, my channel views are consistently going up, the likes are going up, more people are joining the Discord, and so I just wanted to say thank you all so much for the support. It really means everything to me that I get to make this analysis for you guys, because at the end of the day, I want you guys to be profiting alongside next to me, because that is what matters most to me. The more knowledge that I can give back so that we're all profiting together is literally the ultimate goal of this channel, and I'm just thankful that you guys actually trust me enough to fully immerse yourself inside of this amazing community that I have created. Anyways, guys, with all that being said, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Taking a look at Bitcoin on the dollar, we're going to start by looking at the macro perspective inside of Bitcoin, and then we're also going to be diving into a shorter time frame perspective. Now, inside of Bitcoin, I wanted to talk to you guys about the macro perspective because of the fact the macro is really what's going to give us the clearest indication of what is happening further down the line, a year or two from now. Now, the macro perspective, for you guys that don't understand, is just a longer term perspective. You guys know that I like to trade market cycles, and I also like to invest and hold the long-term trend of cryptocurrency. And so I do post day trading stuff, but generally speaking, I like to stick to the big trend, and that's really what this channel is for. People that are looking to make smart investments, that are looking to hold throughout the majority of the trend and make the most amount of profits while risking the least amount. And so we're going to go through here, and I wanted to share with you guys an amazing pattern that's playing out inside of Bitcoin. Now, this is the pattern that makes me strongly believe that we are very close to breaking new all-time highs and heading into a new parabolic cycle. Now, the thing that I've noticed is just how correlated this cycle is compared to the one that we're currently in today. And I think that a lot of people have kind of written off this comparison because of the fact the market structure itself is a little bit different. But when I actually start to break this down, we're going to start to see that the market structure is almost exactly the same. Even though it might look a little bit different with how it consolidated and how it accumulated, overall we're following the exact same trend. And we can break it down by almost the exact time frames. Now, what I've kept updating you guys with for a significant portion of time now is the fact that the new year is a really significant point of reversals. It's an area of high demand inside of the charts for the market cycles. For whatever reason, the new year is either a time of a bullish or a bearish reversal, or it's also a time where we start a new phase in the market cycle. And I'll kind of talk to you guys about how that works. Now, this is how we're going to go through that. We're going to analyze 4 years of the Bitcoin cycle, and we're going to analyze the first of every new year. So we're going to look at 4 years, and we're going to mark the new year of each one of these years. And we're going to apply that to how it actually coexists with the current cycle so that we can kind of see exactly how much farther we still have and when we can expect to actually break new all-time highs and head into this next cycle. So let's go through here. Now, even though we don't have enough price history previously up to this point, we knew that we had a massive bull run, and then at roughly the new year, about the 1st of December, we started to actually retrace. And so if we go through here, let's analyze the new year. Now, it's not going to let me get perfectly on the 1st of January because this is on a weekly time scale, but we're going to be close enough that we're going to be able to see exactly how the correlations work. And so we can see here that this was the top of the bullish trend. So we're going to make this one red. This showed the reversal of the bullish trend, and now we start a bearish cycle, right? Now, remember, we're going to break this down in every single year. So a year from 2014 puts us at 2015. Now, I want to talk to you guys about this, and I think that I've already updated you guys with this significantly, but I think that it's really important that we apply it to the current cycle and we see exactly what is coming inside of Bitcoin, because the two cycles are 100% the same. It's almost the exact same cycle. Now, a year from that point takes us to almost the exact bottom of capitulation. And we can see that right here. We had one more red candle, one more down weekly candle that closed at about $170 before that was the exact bottom of this cycle. So as we can see from following this trend, the new year is a very important time. Whether it's a reversal on the bullish side or a reversal on the bearish side, we can see that we generally consolidate in 1 year increments. So this was phase 1. This is the top of the bullish trend, and then we start a downtrend. Now, a year from that point puts us at almost the exact bottom of that downtrend. And so we're going to label this one green. Now, let's go through here and label another year. Another year of 2015 takes us to 2016, which is about right here. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, guys. What we see currently happen is a year from capitulation takes us through accumulation and our first leg up into this new cycle, right? And so year 1 is the bullish reversal. Year 2 is the end of the bearish cycle. Year 3 is the end of accumulation and the start of the new bull trend. And now this will take us to our 4th and final year. Now year 4 takes us to 2017, which would be right here. And this is actually right where we start to break all-time highs, or at least hit that new all-time high mark before we actually go into this parabolic cycle. Now, let's go through here and actually break these down so that we can apply them to the current cycle and we can see exactly where we are at. Now, this is really important, guys, because we go through 4 different phases between the cycles, and each phase lasts about a year's period of time, and then we go into the new phase. And so the new year is the time of the end of that phase, approximately. It's not always going to be 100% exact, but we're getting so close that it is almost exact. So taking a look at here, we get the top of our bullish trend, and then that starts year number 1. So this is year number 1, and then we go into another year. Now, this starts year number 2, which is the bottom of capitulation. So that's number 2. And then we start the next phase in the cycle. So phase number 2, to start phase number 3, we go through a year of accumulation, and then we have our first higher high. And then that starts phase 3. Now, a year from that point is actually where we've started the new bull trend, and we're now starting to build on that momentum. And so a year from that point takes us to phase 4, and phase 4 is actually the point in which the market goes parabolic. So phase 1, the top of the bull cycle. Phase 2, the bottom of the bear cycle. Phase 3, accumulation, first higher high, start of new bull cycle. And phase 4, start of parabolic trend, right? And then we have 1 year of bull markets, and then that's when we start the brand new cycle back down. And so let's actually go through here and analyze how it applies to this current cycle, because this is what's really going to blow your guys' minds. The cycles are almost the exact same, and the people that are investing right now are setting themselves up to make the most amount of money possible heading forward in this next cycle. Don't get shaken out, guys, because this is the opportunity of a lifetime. You guys are definitely not going to want to miss out on this. Now, let's start over this cycle. So the new year, we're going to break it down every year for 4 years, and that's going to show us exactly how far we have left to go in this cycle and where we're actually at currently in this cycle. Now, we'll go first and we'll analyze the new year. The new year is the point of reversals, and so we get that reversal. Even though we peaked a little bit earlier, we make our first lower high, and then at the top of that lower high is actually the new year, and then that's when we start that bearish trend. Now, we're going to label this one green. We're going to label this one red because that was the top of the bull trend, and now we start a brand new bear cycle. So a year from 2018 takes us to 2019, which is about right here. And this is the exact bottom of the bearish cycle, and we can see that here. Almost the very exact bottom of that bearish cycle puts us a year after the top of the bull. Now, remember guys, we break it down a year from this point, takes us to 2020, and we can see here that we're once again following this cycle almost identically. For whatever reason, this new year is a really strong point of reversals. And now let's actually go through here and label our final one on the list today, which is going to take us to 2021, which will be about right here. And this is going to be, let's remove these ones real quick. And this is actually going to be our new 4-year cycle. And we can see that once again, it almost lines up exactly. We have phase number 1, which is the top of the bull trend. We get phase number 2, which is the bottom of the bear trend. We get phase number 3, which is accumulation and the first higher high in the new bull trend. Now this is actually what takes us to phase 4 in the cycle, and really that's where we're at currently. Phase number 4 is really where we start to go parabolic and we venture back up towards this all-time high mark. And that's what we can see happen in the previous cycle as well. Now, if we go back through here, let's actually take a look and see kind of how these line up. We can see that just like the last cycle, we're following this exact trend. Top of the bull cycle, a year from that point takes us to the bottom of the bear. A year from that is accumulation, the first leg up. And then phase number 4 is really where we start to go parabolic. And we can see that the two cycles have the exact same correlations in price as the last one. Top of the bull cycle, a year from that point takes us to the bottom of the bear cycle. A year from that point is really that accumulation and the first leg up. And we're really just starting that new impulse upwards of that all-time high mark. And so that's kind of what I'm watching out for with Bitcoin. Now, what we have coming up, which is really important, is the halvening. And the halvening is actually going to take place around here. We'll label this one black. And so we're getting very close to that halvening as well. And we can see that the last halvening was about right here. It was about the 10th of July, somewhere right about there. And we can see that this took place shortly after phase 3. And so I'm wondering exactly what's coming inside of Bitcoin. Are we going to have another really big impulse leading into towards that halvening that's just a few months away? But I think that overall we're going to continue to start impulsing out heading into this new halvening, because everybody's expecting the halvening. Everybody's expecting this to be a major catalyst. And the fact that we're so close and we're starting to see markets kind of pick up makes me really confident moving forward that this is going to really be a bullish thing for Bitcoin. And a lot of people are saying that the halving's priced in. A lot of people are saying this and that. But all I can share with you guys is the fact that, you know, there's a lot of new misinformation out there. There's a lot of people trying to tell you different things. There's a lot of people giving bad advice in general. But this is why I like to zoom out and take a look at the macro perspective, because if I know exactly what's happening on a big time frame, all of the little noise in between, regulations, different things governments have to say, different things people have to say, corporations, all of this type of stuff is just noise. And none of it matters because I can look at price, I know what price is doing on a long-term perspective, and I can make my investments and time my trades accordingly. Whereas the average retail investor is just listening to anything, any external force that's telling them anything, and they're just kind of up in that grabs for the market to just kind of rip them apart. And so I want to talk to you guys about this cycle because the cycles are lining up exactly. And really, we're right behind this halvening. And previously, the way that the last cycle worked, you would have been very, very thankful to buy pre-halvening at all. And we can see that right here, that if you would have just bought any point before this halvening, once the market actually starts to go parabolic, you're in such a large amount of profit that it really doesn't matter even if you FOMO'd in at the very top, even if you just bought somewhere in here in general. Accumulating the previous market cycle, no matter how high up it is, no matter how low it goes, just accumulating consistently inside of the dip is what's going to put you at a strategic advantage over the rest of the market. And we can see that the cycles are lining up exactly the same. There's hardly any difference at all. In fact, the only real difference is the fact that prices just look a little bit different between how it consolidated. But overall, we get the exact same thing. I mean, even at the blow off top, the blow off top happens a little bit prematurely inside of the first Bitcoin cycle. We topped out about the 1st of November, and we actually made our first lower high, and then our first lower high, the top of that lower high, was actually the start of the new year. And so between the cycles, they even follow that regard. I mean, if we look at the current cycle, we did the exact same thing. I mean, the 1st of December was really the blow off top. We made one more low. We made a lower low, and then at the top of that lower high, we actually got that new year reversal, and that's what started the trend. And so even price structure itself is correlated almost identically. We can see that from around the same exact points, we're getting a reversal. For whatever reason, the market reverses at the new year. It's kind of like entering a new phase of the market where we have phase 1, the top of the bull trend, phase 2, the bottom of the bear trend, phase 3, accumulation, start of new bull trend, and then phase 4 is where we start to go parabolic. Now, by looking at this, guys, I am very confident moving forward in what Bitcoin is doing. Very confident in my long-term portfolio with this, and that's why I've wanted to update you guys, is because I know a lot of people are a little bit more skeptical about cryptocurrency. A lot of people haven't been here to trade the cycles, and a lot of people haven't made the same amount of money that I have inside of these markets. And so by me talking about the macro perspective, by me sharing with you guys how correlated the two cycles are, we can kind of stop, take a little seat, and we can sit here and just be 100% clear-headed, free from any emotional attachment to our investment, and we can really start to know exactly what's coming with the market. And so based off of this, we're right before that halvening. I think that we're going to continue to see more bullish momentum before that halvening. Even though we're getting a little bit of a pullback here, I still expect us to continue this short-term uptrend really for at least the next year. I think the next year is going to put us at least at that all-time high mark. Depending on how bullish Bitcoin gets, we could break out of that all-time high mark a little bit prematurely. I think that this cycle has a real opportunity to be bigger than any of the previous ones. And even though the parabolic cycles are getting longer, they're getting less parabolic, I still think that with new institutional money now entering this this new market cycle and this new parabolic run what we're having, I think that this one has a real potential to be bigger because of the institutional involvement. Previously, in all of the other Bitcoin cycles, it was all retail driven. Now we have institutional driving this market, and that's why I strongly believe that the people that are investing now are setting themselves up to make a huge ROI moving down the line. Now, let's remove all these drawing tools and let's actually drop it to a little bit of a shorter term perspective, and let's see what I'm expecting moving forward inside of Bitcoin now. Now, overall, not much has changed necessarily since my last update. We've still broken from all major descending resistance. This, to me, is a textbook falling wedge that we consolidated in for about 7 months. We have enough price reactions for me to confirm that that's a true falling wedge based off my own trading plan. And so now we really just had our first impulse and we're starting to sell off from that. Kind of what I've been watching for was the top of this wick. I told you guys 11K, and that would have been about the 618. We stopped a tiny bit prematurely, about $500, but that's fine. I'm holding for the long term. I'm not really too worried about these short-term swings. But what I can say is there are a couple levels that I am watching. Now, I'm watching this $9,100 level, which is about right here. And I'm also going to be watching about 9K, about right there. And I think that, so I'm going to be watching $9,100, and I'm also going to be watching 9,500 as well. I think that this is a really strong support level that I think we will hold, and that we just needed to come back down and retest before actually going higher in this cycle. So this is kind of what I'm going to be watching out for. I want to see how we actually hold above this level. If we actually end up selling below that, then I would actually target about 82, 8,300. And I think that we would fall back somewhere in between this range here. But I think that as long as we're going to be holding support above about 9,100, then we're good. This 9,100 was a real strong support level. We can see that we consolidated here on this descending triangle before we sold through. We got rejected here and we fell lower. But this $9,100 level is a strong area, and that's actually where I accumulated my first bids inside of Bitcoin. And so I'm expecting that that level is going to hold. Now, as long as we hold this level and we get a support and resistance flip, pretty strong impulse, I think that this is going to take us upwards of about 12 to 14K as long as we can get this support and resistance flip here. Now, really guys, the dips are for buying at this point. Anytime you see Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency down anywhere from 20 to 20%, or anywhere from 10 to 20% plus, those are days where you want to be averaging into positions. Really guys, I don't think that we're going to see a whole lot of days where we have significant amounts of red. And with those days, when they do come up, you want to be doing everything you can to actually be accumulating, because that's when the least amount of risk is there and prevalent inside of the market. If you're willing to accumulate when everybody else is fearful, the pullbacks are going to be short-lived inside of this bull market. And so anytime you do see the opportunity to buy blood, that is a really good opportunity to be doing so. And so really guys, this is the analysis that I had. Wanted to keep things simple. This is the level that I'm watching. As long as we hold 9,500 and 9,100, then I think that this is going to set us up for more upside to come, probably close to about 12 to 14K Bitcoin, because I think that this next impulse is going to happen pretty quickly. We already accumulated for 7 months inside of this consolidation pattern. We've broken outside of this convincingly. And so now that we've broken out of this, I think that this impulse is going to happen pretty quickly. Something like we saw here. Remember guys, you don't want to wait around with Bitcoin. If you have money that you're ready to invest and you see the opportunity there, I really wouldn't try and wait a whole lot, because looking at the cycles, I mean, if you would have just bought at any point pre-halvening in the last cycle, you would have made a lot of money. So the halvening was about right here. If you would have just bought any point previously, you would have made a lot of money moving forward. And so you guys shouldn't be too worried about Bitcoin being expensive right now, because in hindsight, this is actually very cheap compared to where it's going to be a few years from now. And so I'm doing everything that I can to buy. I have a bunch of cash on hold right now between PayPal, between AdSense that I can't get to. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to buy this dip. But whenever that money does clear, I do plan to do so. And I believe that if anybody is out there wondering what they should do now, if you've yet to accumulate crypto, if you've been on the fence about doing so, I think that you can't really go wrong in investing, at least putting small risk exposure into cryptocurrency. I've showed you guys the cycles, and I've showed you how they've lined up thus far. And it's really striking to me that it's going to continue to follow this pattern, because what's coming next is the biggest majority of the parabolic run. I mean, if you would have just looked at Bitcoin at the last cycle, if you would have bought any time below this all-time high mark and just held, you would have made a lot of money heading forward into that next cycle. And this really is no different. I mean, anytime we're below this all-time high mark, it's significantly cheap, because at one point Bitcoin was worth 20K. And I'm very confident in saying that one day it will be worth significantly more than that. And so right now, the best thing I'm going to be able to do for myself is to accumulate, add to my long terms. We're still pre-halvening, which has always been the best time to buy if you're a crypto investor. Anytime that we're right below that halvening or right before that halvening event, it's always an excellent buying opportunity. And so this is the analysis I had for you. Wanted to share with you guys my macro perspective. Wanted to share with you guys what I'm expecting on a shorter time frame, so that we're all on the same page together. Overall, these new all-time highs are going to come very quickly, and we've already started the breakout and impulse towards that all-time high mark. And so there really shouldn't be a whole lot of waiting around for you guys at this point. There really shouldn't be a whole lot of slow markets at this point. I think that the real parabolic nature is going to be showing itself over this next year. We're going to see kind of a slow uptrend inside of Bitcoin, something kind of similar to what we saw in 2016. I think that we will get another impulse that'll take us towards this all-time high mark. We might get another short-term pullback after the halvening, and then we should, in theory, at about 2021, about right here, we should start that new parabolic trend. And so this is the analysis I had for you. If you guys found any value in this, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel. If you guys want access to my Discord server, make sure you guys click the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to that. You guys can click on the invitation link in the description, and then once you're actually inside of my Discord, you guys can message me and get access to my private signals, get access to my video course, whatever you guys need. Feel free to message me, and I will get back to you guys as soon as possible. With all that being said, thank you all so much for the support, and I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.